Hey guys, it's Brent. Welcome back to a very special edition of Life 101. All the things you should have learned in school, you just never ever did. Today, we've got some big topics. We're going to be talking about the signs that you will have in your life if you are experiencing a spiritual awakening. And that's probably why you're in the group. Something is happening, right? You are awakening. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about today how to get an abundance mindset. You know, so many people are out there with a mindset of lack, and they're out there trying to get abundance. It just doesn't work that way. I'm going to show you the way to flip that switch and start having abundance in your life. We're going to tackle all that and a lot more. So sit back, relax, and get ready. It's Life 101. All right, so it's Saturday out there. Well, for most of you, depending on where you're watching this, but we're streaming this live. If you have any questions or comments, drop them over there. If we don't get to it during the live broadcast, or if you're watching this on a tape delay situation, that's fine. We always go back through the comments. So leave any questions or comments you have. We'll get to that. We're going to start off today with what we talked about just a moment ago. It's the signs that you are having a spiritual awakening. And like I said, that's probably why you're in the group, because, you know, a spiritual awakening is what's happening to almost everyone there. And I'm going to give you the signs now. Now, it's important to remember that spiritual awakening is not an overnight venture. It's simply a term that helps define the beginning of your initiation on the spiritual path. Now, when we undergo a spiritual awakening, we literally wake up to life. And we realize just how long we've been sleepwalking through our lives. The spiritual awakening process is very complex. It's very multi-layered, and it's different for every single person that is watching this right now. Now, in reality, it can't fit into very neat categories for everybody because it doesn't work the same. Therefore, it is possible that you could experience none of these, one of these, or like me, almost all of these symptoms, okay? So these are signs that you are experiencing a spiritual awakening, all right? Let's start with the positive effects. Spiritual awakening is powerful. It's a jolting experience. You know, back in the 80s, I remember as a little kid, you know, we had such horrible foods and stuff, you know, like just the worst sugary foods. There was actually something called Jolt Cola that was like 3 times the caffeine of normal cola. Like, we need that. So kids would be drinking that stuff. You'd be up all night long. I mean, it was crazy. It makes me think when I think of Jolt. It's everything but easy, some of these, all right? So here are 10 positive symptoms that you might be experiencing in your everyday life, all right? First, and this is the one that really started with me first, it was increased empathy and intuition. You find yourself listening less to what people say and more to the feeling or the intention behind their words and actions. And once you're able to do this, oh my gosh, everything in life changes because you're no longer looking through that layer of fabric that is over your eyes. You're now able to see and trust your gut instinct a little more. All right. Number 2, feeling drawn to nature. Now, we may get distracted when walking outside, even during a busy day. But if you start to pay attention, look at the flowers, the birds, the sky, the trees, it is an unbelievable, beautiful experience. The problem is we're so used to labeling everything, you know, not just nature, we do it with people. But, you know, we don't see the oak tree for the tree anymore. We just file it away as an oak tree. So, you know, going out and just experiencing nature, it's an amazing thing. Next, an aversion to negative people or behaviors. I know you are experiencing this because I read it in the comments. You find yourself less interested in gossip, pettiness, or the judgment of others. And so many people, I was included, live in that, live from a place of that. And getting out of that headspace, unbelievably freeing. A desire for a united community. Man, this is definitely true. And I feel this very strongly even right now. You know, if you seem more drained by us versus them arguments energies, or consciousness. And it doesn't have to be just politics. It can be sports, racial divides, whatever it is. When you start to realize that this illusion of separateness is just that. We are all one. We are all one connected consciousness. And if we would understand this and stop fighting each other, we would make it to that next level of consciousness, which we have to do in order to survive. We've got to awaken to that next level. Next, feeling and believing that all life is sacred. Now, we value all life. You may find yourself taking small bugs outside to live and reform their purpose. Man, I was the one who used to kill spiders. I used to hate that. Now I'm exactly like this. I believe that all life is sacred. It's why, I went from being for a low carb diet, which was all protein and meat, to a vegetarian diet, to, I just different things. And it's the feeling, and it's the caring. Your consciousness feels renewed. You begin to look back on your own life memories as only opinions of your experiences versus the concrete reality, because it's never reality. Just remember that. You never experience reality, even in the moment, because it's always colored with your past experiences. You start to realize now that your entire life experience can be different based on the consciousness that you hold. All that is in your head are just stories that you tell yourself, made up bullshit stories about your life. You can change those instantly. Stop living the same old story. Next, you're living in the moment, in the now. The only entry point to make any lasting change is right now. We're less interested in asking ourselves what if questions. For example, what if Joe never left me? What if I had taken that job? What if, those looping questions. Ridiculous. Never, ever is going to bring you any peace, all right? Next, increased inner peace. You don't mind being alone at times and having quiet time. You tend to shut off the TV and social media more often. You tend to connect to yourself more. This next one is important. Compassion and positivity surges through you. Rather than competing or wanting ill will for another, you hope we all make it and are happy, because in reality, we are all connected. The us versus them mentality never works. It leads to war, it leads to famine, it leads to destruction. There is no competition when you realize that no two people are exactly the same. So competition you can't do it. You can't do it when you can't compare the two items. So creation is a much better PowerPoint to come from when you're creating your opportunities instead of competing with everyone else for a finite amount. Instead, creation is unlimited. So that's what we're going for. Next, enhanced authenticity. You need less attention in crowds, public situations, or around others. Now, even as an entertainer who spends my career on stage, wanting the attention of other people, this is absolutely true, because we're just sometimes content to now watch and assist and help others instead of being the center of attention. Those people who know me will find this hard to believe, but it's very true. Coming into your own, though, has a cost. It's not going to be easy to open your eyes to the physical world around you as you engage with your community, with your family, with yourself on a much, much deeper level. So here are a few side effects of spiritual awakening that might be frightening or hard to accept as you begin your journey. All right? Just remember, life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. All right? Now, one thing you'll experience, I guarantee this, is waves of emotion. Sudden waves of emotion. You'll start crying at the drop of a hat. You'll feel suddenly angry or sad or happy with very little provocation. And you can go from one to the other very quickly. Emotional roller coaster. Man, that's the term. That's exactly what it means. There's often a pressure or a sense of emotions congested in the heart area. All right? Now, let me give you some advice. Accept your feelings as they come up and let them go. That is why they're coming up. That is why those emotions are rushing back. When you get those feelings, we have a tendency to push them down again. It's better to look at them and allow them to pass through. That energy was meant to go through you, but instead you're holding it inside and creating uncomfortable emotion connected with those thought patterns. All right? So go directly to your heart and feel the emotion. Feel it, deal with it, and let the shit go. You might notice intolerance to food or different allergies that you didn't have before, So you want to be careful on that. Amplification of the senses. You could get blurry vision, shimmering objects start to happen, hearing, you can hear white noise in the head, that sorts of thing, enhanced sense of smell and touch. Now, just surrender to it. Any of those things. Let it come through. Listen to it. Be patient. Whatever you do, don't be afraid of it. It's a passing thing, and it is there. Something like hazy vision, you can relieve that just by yawning, all right? Vivid dreams. Sometimes these dreams are so real you wake up confused where you are. You may even have lucid dreams in which you are in total control. And those dreams are the best. When you feel like you're in the zone, like those moments when you're awake, when everything's moving at your command. Being in that dream state, but being able to control it is amazing. Next, there of course could be events that completely alter your life. Death, divorce, change in job, loss of income, home, illness, other catastrophes, sometimes more than one at once. Forces that cause you to slow down, simplify, change, or re-examine who you are and what your life means to you. Forces that finally you can't ignore. Forces that cause you to release all your attachments. Forces that awaken your sense of love and compassion for all. This is a big one. And you're not going to believe it, but it's true. Electrical and mechanical malfunctions. When you are around, light bulbs flicker, computers lock up, or the radio goes haywire. Let me tell you what, one of the most unbelievable experiences I ever had during a meditation, when everything went crazy in the house. I could see the microwave, the timer on the microwave, but I literally blew up a 65-inch TV, and it never has worked since. And in the middle of that, and ever since then, there's a weird reaction around electricity, and you'll start to notice that. I have no idea. Nobody does. Also, memories may start to resurface. Body memories, suppressed memories, images of past lives or parallel lives. We're healing and we're integrating all of ourselves. So you have to expect some of these experiences. Now, just keep in mind that it's best to recall what only comes to mind. Leave the rest alone. Don't be digging up things you don't have to. But when something comes up naturally, work through it. Don't analyze everything to death, because you're going to be stuck in looping. You'll be in an infinite loop without being able to move past the issue. And feel your feelings as they come. All right? Now, what do you do after your awakening? Well, it's pretty common for people to want to know what to do. But there's a couple of key elements that we need to be clear about to answer this question properly. Are we talking about immediately after awakening, or are we talking about 3 or 4 years later? Well, in the short term, immediately, you need to make space, and you need to assess where you are in your life. Some people wake up in a situation where they can be a hot mess for years. Maybe they have a spouse who can't support them. Maybe they don't have good friends, whatever's going on. Or maybe in the other side of the token, maybe they do have a spouse who can support them. Maybe they have a lot of good friends, they have a lot of savings, and so they can do whatever they want. They have more work ahead of them then to create space to fall apart and be reborn. Because you can do this from two things. Something in you can just awaken one day. And that's what happened to me slowly several times. Or I know people where something catastrophic almost breaks them. They're ready to commit suicide, and that break of their ego awakens them. You know, if you have the choice, obviously, you want to do it. You don't want a catastrophic situation. Anytime you can start to awaken from a place of stability, you're in such a much better position than awakening from a place of tragedy, all right? Creating long-term solutions are the most important things that we can do, and that's why working every single day on it. Building a spiritual practice is so important because it's vital, all right? Now, in the long term, and it depends, some of you are much farther along on your spiritual growth, and that is amazing. That's incredible. As this intensity of the initial year or two, that energy will start to subside, it often is important to more actively intensify or re-intensify the energy. The floodwaters of awakening tend to knock down a few things, but it seems rare that they remove every obstacle and leave someone in a state of pure oneness and freedom. Instead, awakening is kind of like resetting the system. It is a new beginning. The clarity and freedom earned from dissolving and doing the necessary inner work during the early years offers a person the ability to intentionally dive deeper and break stronger and more powerful attachments in their lives. That is what it's all about. The outer world is our secondary reality. Nothing out there matters more than what matters in here, what you have inside. Because love and confidence and bliss are not outer world items. You can only grant them to yourself. Some people land in a place of ongoing awakened flow, and you feel this rush of bliss and energy all the time, instead of 5 or 6 times in your entire life and then chasing after that feeling. You have it all the time. Imagine how much easier life will be when you're working from that position, instead of a position of anxiety and stress and doubt and worry all the time. As you move into these later years, it's been several years now for me, it gets really clear what your soul wants. Your soul wants freedom. Your soul wants to be happy. Your soul doesn't want to take from someone else. It wants to give. It's a never-ending cycle of abundance. There is enough for everyone. There's enough happiness. There's enough love. There's enough finances. There's no reason for fighting and war. And who has the bigger ego and the bigger missiles wins the battle. As you awaken, you start to realize that life begins inside. And when you change yourself, everything starts to change. And that's how we change the world. That's how it's done. Have you ever heard this quote by Benjamin Franklin? He that is good at making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Wow. Do you find yourself making excuses when things do not go entirely your way? Have you ever neglected taking responsibility for the events and the circumstances of your life? Have you ever tried to explain away why you didn't, couldn't, shouldn't, or just wouldn't do something? These are all subtle signs that signify you are living a life of excuses. And these excuses subsequently prevent you from living life to your full potential. Well, I want you to think about it. What are excuses really? Well, excuses are rationalizations we make to ourselves about people, events, and circumstances. These are just invented reasons that we create to defend our behavior, to postpone taking action, or simply as a means of neglecting responsibility. Excuses are mainly a means of placing the blame of an internal problem on an external condition. So why do we keep making excuses? Well, there's many reasons why we make them. In fact, everyone has a variety of reasons. However, mostly we only make excuses for the following key reasons: fear of failure, fear of embarrassment. This next one was big for me: fear of success, fear of change, fear of uncertainty, fear of responsibility, fear of making mistakes, perceived lack of confidence, or again, perceived lack of resources. To successfully eliminate excuses from our lives, we must first look at removing all traces of fear. Because fear traps and locks us away in the confines of our comfort zone. We talked about this the other day. Your comfort zone will kill you. However, for the most part, fear is misunderstood. Our fears typically emerge due to a lack of understanding, information, resources, or just perspective. If for any reason you lack in these areas, you will naturally struggle with self-confidence. As a result, you will fail to take the necessary actions that can help move you towards your goal. You will therefore tend to make excuses for your life and circumstances in a feeble attempt to boost your own self-esteem. However, all you're doing really is creating the illusion of security. You are merely masking the pain with a painkiller. And anytime you take painkillers, as anybody knows, over time you need more and more and more to make the pain go away. The pain is still there, and it's going to continue. It's going to continue to torture you until you finally figure out how to overcome your fears. Look, let me tell you the horrific consequences of making excuses. Living a life of excuses can have dire, lasting, lifelong consequences. Not only will excuses prevent you from reaching your full potential, but they'll also hold you back from recognizing opportunities, strengths, and skills that you might have that can keep you, help you overcome life's problems. If you don't challenge yourself to reach new heights, you will never really know what you're truly capable of. New opportunities lie hidden all around you, all around us, at every corner of life. However, you will never find them. You will never find them if you just keep filling your mind with never-ending excuses. If you persist making excuses, then you may very well succumb to the following consequences: a lack of responsibility and growth, self-made, self-limiting beliefs, those will ruin your life. Contentious regrets and what-if scenarios, questions that you can't answer, those horrible what-if questions that you try to go into your past and answer. A pessimistic outlook on life. How many of you out there have that? How many people do you know that have that? A paranoia that prevents you from taking decisive action in your life. The constriction of your comfort zone as it gets smaller and smaller. Mental blocks that will stifle proactive action and creativity. These consequences certainly don't result in a very fulfilling lifestyle. In fact, they paralyze us. They prevent us from moving forward in every area of our life. To overcome your excuses, you must first admit that you're making them. Step number one. This can, of course, be difficult. However, it is entirely necessary if you want to avoid succumbing to the inevitable consequences. So ask yourself, what excuses do I tend to make? What am I settling for? Why am I making these excuses? List all the consequences that result from making the excuses. Ask yourself, how do these excuses prevent me from moving forward? How do they cripple my ability to get what I want? You might be afraid to fail. You might think it's just not the right time. You have to plan it out more. I'm just not inspired right now. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, all right? Those are just excuses. Those are just stories that you're telling yourself. So get rid of all that, all right? Start connecting with yourself. Do it in meditation, whatever you have to do to get that inner connection, all right? Remember, he that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. And as harsh as that sounds, it's probably the absolute truth. Sometimes we get so absorbed in making excuses about how things didn't turn out the way we wanted them to, the way we expected them to, that we forget to focus on making the best of every situation, no matter what the outcome. So today, right now, from this moment forward, keep Benjamin Franklin's words in your mind, not just in your mind, but take them to heart. Start making incremental changes, just a little bit in the right direction every day is success. Next, we're going to talk about something very, very important, because I see so many of you talking about finances, talking about needing a better job, talking about needing more money in the bank, but you have a lack mindset, and it is impossible to attract abundance into your life in any area First of all, it's very important to know that abundance does not just mean finances. It just doesn't mean fancy homes and cars. Abundance in love and passion, everything in your life. But you can't attract it with a mindset of lack. And so many people, the majority of people, have that. It's just like you can never attract being thin by a mindset of I'm fat. If that is in your mind, it's impossible. And so many people have a mindset of lack when it comes to abundance. All right. What you've got to do is ask yourself, what is true abundance? Well, true abundance is the experience in which everything in our lives, all our needs are met and our desires are spontaneously fulfilled. We know true abundance. You know how you can tell? Because you feel joy and you feel health and bliss and happiness, and you have a sense of purpose and vitality in every moment of our existence. It's an overflowing fullness that infuses every facet of our lives. We never need to seek abundance. We simply need to notice and open up to what's already there. Then we allow the bounty of the universe to flow through us. Each of us experiences his or her abundance every day in their own specific way. It's with the unbounded joy of a child, the bright sunlight that fills the room as you open your eyes to a new morning. The many friends and family who are always there for you. Nature, too, reflects abundance in all its glory. Go out and look at the fields of wildflowers, majestic mountain peaks, lush green forests, and the rich array of wildlife that thrives on our planet. All of these are gifts. They are gifts that nature presents to us at every moment. They are examples of true abundance. Now, it is impossible to count the grains of sand in just 1 inch of the shore, or to count the twinkling stars that fill up our night sky. Even though our bodies are composed of those same molecules that make up the entire universe, contain billions of cells in nature. In the universe, and even within us, there's no such thing as scarcity. There is no such thing as lack. Now that you possess this knowledge, you can embrace the concept of unlimited abundance, knowing that the desires of your heart are always available, provided you're open to receiving them and sharing your gifts with the world. So at some point today, take time to witness examples of abundance within and all around you. Oh my goodness, you are going to see the myriad of riches that the universe offers us in every single moment. And you'll begin to experience true abundance consciousness. What I want to do today, I want you to take a few moments and I want you to meditate with me. We're going to do it together. All right. I want you to get into a mindset of abundance. So I want you to do that by thinking about today's centering thought. All right. So think to yourself today, I behold all the abundance that surrounds me. Again, today, I behold all the abundance that surrounds me. Keep that in your mind and your heart today. But right now, we're going to do a quick guided meditation to connect you with the source from which all abundance flows. So find a comfortable position, placing your hands lightly in your lap, palm upwards, feet flat on the floor. If you're in a chair, if you're sitting on the floor, you sit cross-legged would be great. Back straight, close your eyes, keep them closed. Good. Now in this moment, I want you to go deeper. I want you to go within. I want you to go to that place of inner quiet. That place where we experience our connection to the higher self. let go of all thoughts and begin to observe the inflow and outflow of your breath. With each inhalation, with each exhalation, allow yourself to become more relaxed, more comfortable, more at peace. Good. Now, in a moment, I want you to gently introduce the mantra, repeating it mentally and allowing it to flow with effortless ease. I want you to breathe in. And when you do, silently to yourself, I want you to think, so, like this. And as you breathe in, you're thinking, so. Hold it. Now release like this. Hum. Again, just mentally. So you breathe in, so, mentally. And then breathe out. Good. Do that now. Just remember, anytime you're distracted by thoughts or sensations in your body or anything happening in the environment around you, just return to your breath. Return to mentally repeating, so, hum, as you breathe in and out. Good. Please continue with your meditation. I'll be back at the end. Enjoy it. Keep your eyes closed. Breathe in and out. So, hum. So, hum. Great. It's time to release the mantra. Please bring your awareness back to your body. Take a moment. Rest, inhaling and exhaling slowly and deeply. When you feel ready, open your eyes. Great. Now you can continue to carry this understanding of true abundance within you today. Remind yourself of today's message. I behold all the abundance that surrounds me. Go out, see it around you. It'll blow you away. All right, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me today. And I want to remind you, if you're not a member of our Facebook community, now is the time. We are a fantastic family, community of like-minded people, people on the path to spiritual awakening. We are like-minded people helping, supporting, empowering ourselves, and in turn, helping, supporting, and empowering each other. It's all positivity all the time. Tons of posts, videos, and help to get you from where you are now to where you want to go. So join us. It's facebook.com/groups/students of self-empowerment. You can also go to our website. That's freelifetools.com, freelifetools.com. And there you'll find a vast array of life tools to help you through your journey. Now, if you want to take a deeper dive into anything that we talk about, take a look at our fantastic motivation products. Go to our website, it's taylorweb.org/shop, but just go to the website, you'll find the store there. We have courses, we have ebooks, we have something for everyone, no matter where you are in your spiritual journey, including we have ebooks on meditation, weight loss, finances, unlocking the power within, all sorts of different items. So take a look over there, taylorweb.org. I'm going to close my show today with some advice from the late, great Larry Hagman. My childhood idol, wanted to be J.R. Ewing so bad. It goes like this: don't worry, be happy, feel good. I'll see you tomorrow.